All right, guys, how's it going? I am Doctor McFarland, and it is Tuesday. What is today? May 6th, 2025. And I came across a really cool option earlier for building a pedal board. And Pedal Train has this option. There's a pedal playground, some kind of thing, whatever it is. But the Rockboard, which I actually have a Rockboard right over there. I'll probably grab it here in a second. It has a cool option to, it's called the board configurator. So there you go about that one. So let me switch over and you can see what we're talking about here. Okay, so here's the board configurator. And let's try it out. Okay. Now y'all go ahead and come in, tell me your name, where you're from, what kind of guitar do you have, all the stuff, right? Let me actually go and do, I need to check something here. It says I'm live. Okay, cool. I had a weird notification saying it didn't connect, but it's connected now, so we're good. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so let's get started. This is your pedal board, your blank canvas for your effects pedals. Here you can equip it with your pedals and wire them up virtually. All right, so let's go ahead and exit out of that. So I did some playing around earlier, and this is actually pretty easy to do. We have these little arrow tabs over here, and we can choose our board model, which is the smallest one, which is a Duo 2.0. Now let's just see how many pedals we can fit on here. So we're going to add a pedal. Let's type in Boss. Let's start with just a classic Boss pedal board setup. And let's get a fuzz in there. And there's all kinds of different options in here. So bass equalizer, synthesizer. I know there's more. The turbo drive. Got to have a compressor in there. There's acoustic preamps. Probably be better if you just specifically search for what you wanted, but it is what it is. All right, anyway, let's just go organize these things here. So usually, not really usually, but you want your tuner kind of toward the front. Then you can have a compressor. Then you can have, something like this, right? So this board essentially fits 4 Boss style pedals. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Looks like I can log in later. You can save the board if you log in. There's different parts. So here's all the parts you have on your board. You can choose the power supply, which they have a Rockboard thing, but for this kind of board, I don't think you can really use that. Let's just try like the True Tone. Like CS6, right? And it's really cool because it also shows you the total of milliamps down here. So you can kind of choose your power supply accordingly. Oglepix is in the house. What's up, man? And that is small. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, so, I mean, so far, this is a really cool looking board. And yeah, if you're a small run and gun kind of guy, don't need a whole lot, then maybe you just need a tuner, a compressor. Maybe you want to switch out the fuzz for let's do a Boss delay, for example. It's not coming right up. Let's see. Boss. DD3. I kind of like the, there is the Giga delay, which is kind of cool. Let's do the DD7. What do we have for DD7? Now the 6 and the 7. The 7 actually gives you a separate tap tempo output down here. And it's stereo ins and outs, which the 6 may not be, but whatever. All good pedals. And maybe this is a board that you already have a reverb on your amplifier, so you don't need a reverb on the board, which is great. And now you got your delay with a tap tempo. You can also hold momentarily and then tap it in that way, which is, I know is not totally convenient, but it is what it is. And then we have an overdrive compressor and then a tuner. Okay, so let me just do a screenshot of this and then we can build something else. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep the tuner on there. But so far, this is, I mean, they did a good job of taking realistic pictures of all this stuff. Just for fun, I want y'all to tell me which pedal manufacturer that you want me to focus on here. I mean, we do have JHS. Let's see, manufacturer name. Okay, let's throw on the purple pedal there. Which one is this one? What is that? That's a volume, chorus, and a reverb. Wow. Okay. Volume, chorus, reverb. So maybe we can put that toward the end. And then I'm not sure if we can do like a... I'm not a big chorus fan, but maybe like a little tremolo, Tidewater tremolo. That could work. There's not a delay on here though. I might want to put a delay on there. Let's go search. Yes, that's what I want right there. I want the Tac-O-Bout. Because it is Taco Tuesday. Where'd it go? There we go. It's an overdrive. Bam. Now this picture is kind of crooked a little bit. You can tell that they took the picture slightly off center, which is funny. But yeah, there's that. Okay, let's not do this pedal, because we already have reverb on the amp, right? So let's go find a delay. JHS delay pedal. All right, we can go really cheap or we can go more expensive. This one actually, it's kind of going away from the JHS, but this is a Caverns by Keeley. And it has a built-in delay and a reverb. But I'm going to turn down the compressor just a little bit. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, Oglepix, have you tried something like this? Oh, there's multiple other websites out there that you can build pedalboard and stuff with. And it's great because you can really get a feel for what pedals you have and how you can arrange them on a certain size board. And, you know, Or maybe you don't have any pedals and you're just wondering, hey, what if I got these pedals right here? What kind of size board can I get away with? Kind of thing. This is actually not too bad. So we got the reverb. I kind of wish this pedal had a tap tempo, which it doesn't. And that stinks. But I know something else that does though. Let me go find it. So I'm quickly getting away from the JHS here, but we're going to look at the New X. It's the Atlantic pedal. This is actually a really good pedal. The Queen of Tone. So it's kind of like the King of Tone, but way cheaper. Dual overdrive. Ace of Tone. It's kind of neat. Where is it at? All right, here we are. Here's the Atlantic. And it fits rather nicely on there. You got to really be careful with the side jacks and how much room that you have on there. Add an output destination. Okay, cool. I'm going to an amp. Then add a source instrument. I want this to be electric guitar. Okay, whatever. There's also signal flow. So in, not connected. What's missing here? Well, how do you connect it? Oh, cool. Okay, so out to in. Out to in. And then out to in. Then out to in. Then out to in or something. That's kind of neat. Connect the guitar. So out to in. Wow, look at that. Okay, cool. Really cool. Left input, mono. What's still going on here? Patch cable. Trying to figure this thing out. Do you have to drag? No. Oh, there you go. And then the New X. Let's just do a stereo out. Something like that. This is not working for some reason. Huh, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's all connected. So yeah, you got your signal flow going here as well. So guitar to in, out of this pedal to in, out to in, out to in, out to input of the amp. And that's a fun little board right there. That can do a lot of stuff, I would think. I have an off-brand tube amp that just went out. I need to check tubes, but prior to I was researching Pedalboard. Yeah. Depending on how often you play the tube amp, you probably just want to go ahead and replace the tubes once every 3 to 5 years, maybe. Depending on how often you play. And also how loud you play the amp. If you really crank the amp up, then those power tubes are going to go out a lot quicker than normally they would. Okay. All right, I like this board. This is really cool. I'm actually going to, let me take a picture of this. I can use this for a thumbnail when I'm done later on. Boom. And boom. I'm going to go find a Okay, where can I add a pedal? Weird. Signal flow. Planning. Okay, there we go. Planning. Let's look at the true tone. Route 66 version 3. So this thing right here, this is cool. So this actually has a compressor on the front end, and it has a tube screamery type circuit as well. But you can see I'm getting kind of small on the board. Thankfully, both of these pedals have top jacks, so I can essentially just butt those up next to each other and then free up a little bit of space there for my tuner, my pedal, and my Atlantic. And I love going digital. I love having digital options. But something small like this would actually be really fun. And it would keep you essentially from getting what's the word? What's the word? Probably just like option overload is what I'm going after here. Option overload. I actually like where we're going here. So I like this. Let's take a picture of this one. And I like that. But let's go with the next. Let's go with the next board bigger, which is just going to be a little bit longer here. Okay, something like that. So we're going to move this over here. We're going to move this here. And now we're going to make room for one more pedal. And this is something that I've owned True Tone pedals in the past, and they've always been great. The Jekyll and Hyde. Okay, what's going on here? There we go. All right, so put this back over here. Put this right here. And now, this is cool. And all these have top jacks with separate ins and outs for both sides of the pedal. So what I may end up doing is something like this. And I'll show you. So I'm actually going to make a little bit bigger board. Let's go with the trace. Something like that. Which is not quite long enough. See, that's going to be really tight right there. I'm going to move these down just to make a little bit more room. Yeah, I'm definitely planning a pedal board here. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. And let's actually go with what I already have. Let's go with the Trace 3.1. Which is going to be a little bit wider. And it's going to allow me to have a little bit more space between the pedals. Something like that. What's going on here? Okay. One more pedal. And I'll show you what I'm doing. So this is the Quartermaster. And I need the 6 because I already have the 6. Yes, I already have this pedal. Or this switcher. I could bring the tuner down like that. And maybe get one more pedal in here. Maybe. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's going to take care of the delay and the reverb. And then what if we just put a, what if we put in that tremolo pedal? Like a small tremolo. Didn't even have to be fancy. Nor expensive. Doesn't have to be expensive. It's like a Voodoo Lab tremolo. I would love to have the full tone trim. What do we got here? Deja Vibe. That's going to be pretty expensive though. I don't know if I want to go that route. The Super Trim. This is not going to fit. It's not going to fit. It's not going to fit. But they are all top mounted jacks. So that means they can fit right next to each other. Like so. And then if I put a... crap, come on. If I got rid of this Boss pedal and went with one of the really small tuners. Okay. Maybe. Or maybe I don't even have a tuner. Or maybe I just have a headstock tuner. That might work. But you kind of have to have a... It's nice to have a tuner on a board. That's for sure. Yeah, man. I'm hanging in there. Just staying busy. Doing a lot of stuff. Warwick also makes bases. I'm sure they make pedals as well. It's a nice gigging board. Yeah, it can definitely can be. Yeah, man, you got to change those tubes. Just go ahead and do it. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it simple as I can. Joseph Garcia, what's up, man? Suns baseball is finally over. Well, there you go. All right, so let me tell you why I'm adding this quartermaster in here, and let me actually grab that. I got it somewhere. Weird. All right, I saw it in the attic or in one of my bags, and now it's not in there, so I'm not sure where I put it. But anyway, regardless, let me tell you what the beauty of this quartermaster does. It does this. What's up, Richard? All right, so with all these pedals in the loops, the quartermaster has an option called a toggle. Okay. And instead of going, okay, I want to turn on 1, 3, and 5 or something, but then I need to turn all those off to get to, well, let's just work with the first 4 because we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what I would essentially do is this. each individual section goes into their own respective loop. Then the back, there's this little bitty, I'm not sure why you can't see my mouse. There it is. Weird. Let's do this. Yeah, you can see it now. Okay, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, this little switch right here tells the quartermaster that whenever I push 1 and then I push 2, 1 turns off. Or if I go from 1 and then hit 3, then 3 would turn on and then 1 would turn off. Okay? So it's very similar to how the Toastmaster Pro works, how setting up a scene on the Helix or a headrest would work. And essentially what that gives me is the ability to have, I can have a clean tone with a compressor turned on. So the compressor would be the, it would be part of my clean tone. And then I could go straight to like a little overdrive without the compression. And then go straight to, the right side of the Jekyll and Hyde on number 3. And then go straight to the left side of the Jekyll and Hyde on number 4. And I don't really have to worry about like tap dancing or stacking pedals. Okay. Now, you could make 3 and 4 be the toggle. So let's say I want to go, I'm on 3 right now. I want to go straight to 4. Okay. I can do that just by pushing that little button in between. And then if I want to add in a little bit of Tube Screamer-esque overdrive going into the Jekyll and Hyde, then I can just put on, turn on number 2. Okay. But if I want to go straight to my clean tone and I still have 2 on, then I would have to use my foot to push on 2 to turn it off, and then push 1 to bypass whichever 4 or 3 I had turned on at the time. Okay. And then for the tremolo, I don't use it all that often, but it's just kind of a one-off. So I can just, turn it on for, hit 5 to turn it on, hit again to turn it off. The reverb, that's the problem with the Atlantic, is the reverb is always on. So I would essentially, I couldn't just turn off number 6 because I would then turn off the reverb and the delay at the same time. And the Atlantic doesn't have, it just doesn't have it doesn't have the spillover. Oh, sorry, not the Atlantic, but the Quartermaster doesn't have the spillover. So when I bypass the delay, it wouldn't, via the switch number 6, it wouldn't keep going. It would just cut off. So even though the Atlantic would be in number 6, it's really there for like a true bypass kind of deal. But more than likely, I would leave number 6 on all the time. And then if I wanted to just turn off my delay, then I would just go and turn that off there. So there's that. I do really want a tuner on here though. So I'm going to get rid of the super trim, even though I know it's going to be great. Let's go find a different tremolo pedal. Something really small, because I don't need it big at all. It doesn't need to be big. The Chaka from TC Electronic. That's probably more than fine. It's kind of neat. We also have the Pipeline Tap Tremolo. Ooh, that could be cool. Yeah, these TC Electronic pedals are great. Let's just go with that. Let's go with that. Come on, I need you to delete. All right, so that means I can pull that over there. I can pull that over here. We are dealing with side jacks instead of top mount jacks. So it is what it is. I do like having extra reverb in case I want to do like the shimmery type thing or whatever. But I'm trying to find a way to get a tuner back on here. Okay, I'm gonna deal with I'm gonna look for a different tremolo. What was that Chaka again? This has side jacks. Pulsar. Whoa. Well, it does take some getting used to so far. Let's just go with the Chaka tremolo because it has top jacks and I can squeeze everything together pretty well, like so. This website is mainly for the Rockboard pedal boards. So there's that. I'm going to move all this over. All right, now I'm going to be able to fit a mini tuner on here, which is going to be great. Let's just do the mooer. The mooer tuner. The mooer tuner. Come on, I know you're on here somewhere. TC electronic tuner. Wow, I thought they had a tuner. Mooer tuner, give it to me. I know you're here somewhere. Where are you at? There's the Boss tuner. There's that one. Okay, we're just going to do this one. It's pretty close. Okay. Put that one right there. So I can plug my guitar into the side. And then this goes out. All right, let's do the signal flow now. So electric guitar to in. What do you mean not connected? Electric guitar. Well, how am I supposed to connect it? Silly. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the connection thing right now. It is what it is. We can get that figured out. Let's delete this pipeline tremolo, even though it would be pretty cool. But having top jacks is really nice. So you can kind of just you can feed all the cables through this top hole right here. Then they go under, then they feed into here. Okay, so I'm essentially going electric guitar into input, output of the tuner into the input of the quartermaster. And then from send to here, from here to return, send to input, output to return, send, input, output, return, send, input, output, return, send, input, output, return, and then send, input, output, return. And there you go. That is a nice small pedal board with a tuner, and it gives me my an easy way to switch between the Jekyll and Hyde and Route 66 by toggling between the different channels. channels per se. And it is what it is. So if you've ever played around with the Pedalboard planner.com, then I mean it's a very similar experience, but obviously all those are based on pedal train pedal boards and not Rockboard. And I think the what's the other one? Yeah, Pedal Playground. That may be more. Let me go look that up real fast. Pedal Playground. What does this do? So add a pedal board. So you can literally go find any pedal board out there, which is interesting. So here's the Rockboard. Let's go build the same board here. See how easy it is. Okay, we're going to add a pedal. We're going to do the Moor tuner. I mean, it's not available. What do you mean it's not available? Diodario, Digitech, Electro-Harmonics, Ernie Ball, Harley Benton, Joyo buffer tuner. Look at that thing. No, it's too big. This actually... There we go. It's the Moor Baby Tuner. That's what I had before. I've had that pedal before. I actually have a video on my channel about that pedal. All right, we're going to do the Route 66 from Visual Sound. No, it needs to be the... Let's do the True Tone. Route 66. Come on. Surely they have it. All right, here's the Jekyll and Hyde version 3. Here's the Route 66 version 3. All right, we got that. We can should be able to zoom in a little bit. TC Electronic. Alter Ego Arena Traca Tremolo. So this is a top mount jack pedal, which is kind of essential for butting up all your pedals next to each other. Now, if I was going really hardcore, I would love to have the Strymon Flint and maybe have a separate tremolo pedal, maybe. I'll show you. So here's the Strymon Flint. But I don't really know what other delay has top mount jacks. So it is what it is. I'm going to delete that one. And we'll go back with our Atlantic, the new X. See, something like that. All right, how do I zoom in on this thing? Scale the canvas. How? Uh, 100. Oh. Let's go 50. Okay. That's a little bit bigger on the screen anyway. All right, so there's that. There's that. So we basically just made the same board with the pedal playground, which is equally as exciting. I've been keeping my eye on these pedals for a little bit, and except for the Choka tremolo, which I mean I know it sounds fine, it would sound pretty good. We need to go add the Quartermaster 6. Boom, chicka boom boom. Like so. So all the cables, I need to kind of split the difference here. So move these up. It's okay if this one is a little bit higher. But essentially all the cables go through this back row and they come back out this bottom row. Except for this one stinking pedal, which is bigger than everybody else. That's fine. Let's see what NuX has for tremolo. I don't think they have a top mount tremolo. Who is texting me? Okay. I just need a top mount tremolo. I don't even really care what it is. It just needs to be top mounted. But this is pretty big. Anyway, it is what it is. I'll just deal with this. Okay. The Keeley Halo. Halo. Keeley Halo. What's that? But what is it? Okay, so that's it's a delay pedal. Looks pretty big. I do like that it has separate tap tempo and on off. And then maybe, just maybe, like do that. And then just, I'm going to put the tremolo at the end. Like so. So that way you can kind of access the on-off switch a little bit better right there. Or at least the tap tempo a little bit better. You're a smarter man than I am, smart Alex. I really hadn't got into the chat GTP all that often, but oh, it is the core. Okay, let's see what this one does. It is nice though, having the nice big knobs. I like the knobs. And this might be too much for what I want. If it's like $300, I don't want it. It's too much. I know I can get the Atlantic for like $100. You can get the Choka for like $50 to $60. Then these Jekyll and Hydes, they kind of go. I mean, you can find them on the used market for around $120 or so. We got this Hydra here. So that's once again, that's a reverb and a tremolo. It's a reverb and a tremolo. See, the problem is Let's go to reverb real fast. Keeley Hydra. That's not bad. Stereo, reverb, and tremolo in one pedal. I'm still okay with this one though. Maybe just go with that. I'm not looking to spend tons of money on this, but yes, I mean, you can easily just go wild by adding any pedal you can come up with. But then you got to consider, it's like, all right, how much are these pedals? And do I actually want to spend that kind of money doing that? All right, let me grab my pedal board here. All right, now what is the difference between this on the screen and this thing right here? So this is the Rockboard Trace 3.1, which is what I have there. But I'm utilizing the HX effects for literally everything. Okay. This can be overdrives, it can be delays, reverbs, modulations, literally everything I want. Now I do have a sonic harmonic pedal that I've had around for quite a few years, probably 7 or 8 years. And then this is a direct amp from Quilter Labs, and it does have a stereo left and right output on it, and it has a very nice blue theme going on here. And of course you got to have the Altoids, which has a bunch of picks. I could probably fit well, it's probably not high enough for a slide guitar. But anyway, this is a current pedal board setup that I have that is being powered by the True Tone CS6, the One Spot Pro. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I like this board. I mean, it works. I literally do not play in a band. I just need it for, I just use it for whatever I want. But, yeah, this is a perfectly good board. So why get rid, not really sell it, but why break all this down to then go with this thing, which is still really nice. I mean, it's cool. I like the Jekyll and Hyde idea and the Route 66 idea, and utilizing the Quartermaster to switch between 4 different gain, clean, and gain sounds. And then I can just leave a reverb on all the time. I can leave a delay on all the time. Even though this pedal's at the end, I can have that in loop 5, and then have the Atlantic in loop 6. So physically on the board they're in a weird order, but I can make it whatever order I want going into the Quartermaster, and then the tuner going into the input of the Quartermaster over here, and then the output of the Quartermaster just goes over into the output of the board. So I wonder what would happen. I can rotate that, but that's kind of dumb. I don't like that. But yeah, the pedal playground. This is a nice website, and I think it's a little bit more straightforward than the Warwick, the Rockboard by Warwick. My wife is calling. Okay. I'm going to have to shut this down pretty soon anyway, but let me know what kind of questions y'all have before the next 9 minutes or so. I'll be going for an hour at that point. And so yeah, do you like the Warwick builder or do you like this one? I kind of wish you could change the background of it here. Settings, save to file, load from file. Yeah, so you can store all these. Let's just let's save this. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So you can store all the different files. Then you can just load them back up, but you can't just click on it to see it. You have to take a screenshot to save that. So I'm going to take a screenshot there. All right, I'm going to put all these. Let me actually do that again. Boom. Yeah, just nothing necessary. I have to do anything like this, but most of the time when I'm working in the studio and a guitar player comes in with like absolutely nothing, it is kind of nice to just to hand them a board going, hey, saying, okay, here's some drive options, here's some delay reverb, and here's a tremolo, right? And if he says, well, I kind of want some chorus and I want some shimmer and I want some whatever, then I'll just, I can easily run him into the Toolmaster Pro. I have a Helix, I have a Headrush, I have, the quilter stuff. This is a pretty good little board. So it is what it is. I didn't do a whole lot of playing today, but I do have not a Dumble on the way from JHS Pedals. And I also have a Not a Klon still in the box. Like I haven't even opened the box yet. I bought that last year. Now I fully intended on, maybe putting it together with my kids or just doing it here live on the live stream. And I might do that. I don't know if I'm not sure if they'd be interested in being on a stream or being on a video, but I would like to build these like live in person in front of you, so you can kind of see what the process is and just see how fun it is. But yeah, the Narclon and the Nada Dumble is really cool, and then I'm really looking forward to what else they bring to this DIY kit kind of format. I don't know if they could really do like delays and reverbs, because you have to have like certain chips for those kind of things, I think. But like overdrives, maybe like a tremolo or something cool like that would be fun. And then with those pedals, I would just get a HX Stomp, like a small white one. So you got a cool white Stomp and then a JHS, like 2 JHS pedals. And that would be really cool. Let me strike all these right here. Let me go find let's go do the JHS thing. Actually, just do the HX Stomp. I don't want the red one. Sorry. I want the white one. Yeah. So get something like that. And then get the JHS Not a clon. Not a clon. Not a clon. But really from here, like I wouldn't really need the quartermaster because I'm just dealing with two different drive pedals. And then if they actually had a not a dumble in here, I'd be very surprised because they literally just released it, but it's not in there. So not a dumble. Yeah, they're not going to have it. Let's just throw that in there for fun. Yeah, so you got two different drive pedals. You got the HX Stomp supplying all your amp and other kind of needs. Which actually, this is not a bad. It's not a bad option. Doing something like this, and not using the Atlantic or the Choka, Choka. So I could still technically have my 4 gain sounds right there, and then have the full-on HX Stomp being in one of these, possibly. If I was really smart, not really smart, but if I was, if I had like the Quartermaster 4, right? Something like that would give me it would give me my 4 gain stages that I can toggle between, and then still leave on my reverb, kick in a delay whenever I wanted to kick in my tremolo. I could add another little foot switch down here. 3 button. This is not exactly it, but what is that thing? I'm thinking. You can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry, let me go back here. What am I thinking? Effect switcher. Morning Star. Gosh, I can't think of the word. Like an MC3 kind of deal. So that way I could, I could use this to toggle between different banks, different snapshots, different, all kinds of cool stuff. And then still have the pedals, my gain section here, have the tuner over here. I know the Stomp has a tuner, but sometimes it's nice just having a tuner in the front end. But see, then at this point, I would have to sell my current Quartermaster and then go buy a 4-channel one, which that's just a lot. I mean, I could easily be in $1,000 right here. And at this point, I might as well just use my Helix or my Headrush or a Toemaster Pro. So it's fun thinking of all these things. Maybe if you got rid of all this, you just had, okay, I'm just going to have a Stomp. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have this. And I'm going to have this. And that could easily be a board, right? Or if you just get rid of all this, you could just have an HX Stomp, really small. And set up a few scenes, set up a few snapshots, and bank between them and call it good that way. Yeah, so anyway, all kinds of different options here. How much money do I not want to spend? How about that? I do like the idea of these Jekyll and Hyde and Route 66 pedals, though. They're just really good quality. I've owned tons of True Tone and visual sound stuff over the years. And they're right here in Middle Tennessee. So, you know, support your local brands if you can. And but yeah, I have a Nada Dumble on the way, and I'm going to be building a Nada Klon here pretty soon, probably on the channel. I'll just do it in the maybe next week's live stream. That way, maybe I can see if I can build a Nada Klon and Nada Dumble within 1 hour, and then test them both right there in the stream. That might be next week's live stream. That'll be fun to try that out. Andrew Collins, what's up, man? I'm just over here playing with pedals, trying out different pedalboard websites. This one is the Rockboard by Warwick. This is the Trace 3.1. And yeah, you can kind of can't really see that. You can't see it. And of course, my M50 is not on. I don't know why it's not on. But it is what it is. I'm using the MX Brio right here on top of my screen. I've just decided here recently to go the webcam route versus trying to use my DSLRs and whatever else. The quality is fine and it works good. So, all right, guys, I gotta get on to the church. I'm starting another 6 sessions doing some guitar teaching for a SO ministry here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and gotta get ready for that. So thanks, guys, for watching. I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you guys in the next video. Keep rocking.